Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a really special one for you today, including my special guest, my own dog. Alright, get out of here. This is a 3-on-1 race with myself, Cadman Cycling, and Not Tade Pogacha. I don't have the right accent to say that name. Sorry for absolutely butchering it. Yeah, if you're wondering about the sunglasses, I'm pretty under the weather. I've heard from a very reliable source that when you don't feel too good, you just throw on some sunglasses and you go with it. So that's what we're doing. And again, it was myself, Cadman Cycling, and Oliver Moore, who it was the three of us versus the one and only Jake Sanderson, the snowman, who by his own confession is barely established. Now, how this race was going to work, the three of us started out on the hilly route in Watopia 60 seconds before Jake was unleashed to chase us down. Now, Jake had to beat all three of us across the line for it to be a victory, whereas the team of three, only one of us had to make it across the line before Jake for all of us to claim the victory.
Now, with this being a custom event, we're going to do the Zwift KOM 2 separate times, finishing the race on top of the Zwift KOM the second time around. So as you can see by both of these profiles, there's no real other climbs aside from the main Zwift KOM. Another downside we had no time to really prepare and to talk strategy amongst the three of us. So in the warm-up pen, I did have Ollie, I did tell him, I said, Ollie, I want you to take this first poll. Not particularly leaving it up to question, but just so we have a definitive first poll leader. And talking to Cadman in a separate channel, I knew he had told me getting up the Zwift KOM was going to be the hardest part for him. Other than that, I know he's a strong rider. I know he's a super solid rider. So here we are, 55 seconds in. Jake giving us the countdown. He's about to be released, and we're not quite to the bridge, so we're going to speed it up here as we start going up the Zwift KOM right about now. Now we are in a good kind of formation. We did get a good amount of time in, or a good amount of distance made up in that first 60 seconds. I got to tell you what, I was eager, very eager to hit this hill. And I totally burn a match, hold a good 300 plus watts basically the whole way up. I pass Ollie on the way, the hairpin turning around. He does come around me, and then I just kind of let him go. Cadman is, I mean, we're all right here. And we got a good 37 seconds on Jake here. Now, Jake is lighter than all three of us, and he's also a lot stronger than all three of us. All three of us are currently racing in the B category. Jake has actually recently bumped up to the A category. No doubt, I mean, he's got the legs for it. So coming up over the top, our lead does increase to about 45-50 seconds, depending on where you're looking at it. So we definitely have a good gap still on him, but Jake is making some good work on it. So we keep things really steady, and by we, I mean one of my biggest struggles in cycling is just maintaining the same power for a indefinite amount of time. Cadman and Ollie are both, as it turns out, very good at that. Here's a nice little super tuck for your viewing enjoyment. Other than that, Ollie kept things real nice and steady the whole time. We weren't so good necessarily at staying in a straight line, and I do want to preface this by saying I've never ridden with either one of these before. I've ridden against them a couple times, Cadman a few times. I've never ridden with Ollie before, nor have I ever done any sort of team time trial in real life or in Zwift. So staying behind somebody like that for any amount of time, I just have never done that before. So that was kind of a struggle for me. I don't think it hurt us too terribly bad. It would have only benefited us in the long run had we worked on it maybe a little bit better, but I digress. So we're staying with each other quite nicely, and we're pushing the pace. Now, you may have very well seen this very same style of race be played out on GCN. I do believe our inspiration came from there. The snowman, Jake Sanderson himself, did come up with this. He reached out to myself, and then I reached out to Cadman, and he had some ideas, and he's sitting on a few more. So if you are into this kind of thing, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. Also, drop me a word of encouragement, maybe some tips, some things to work on, but also some things I'm doing well. I love that. I really appreciate the YouTube community that I've been able to grow on this channel. So guys, thank you so very much. We're just plugging away, and you know, I was quite worried on this because I knew I started out very anxious. I knew I started out very eager, especially on the Zwift KOM. I knew I burned the match right away. But also I was nervous because I know Jake is strong, and a minute, 60 seconds isn't really that long always. So I'm doing the best I possibly can to stay up with these guys. I try my best to take some poles. Again, steady efforts is not my strong suit per se. And we turn this corner, we're going up this riser here, 5-6% grade. Well, like GCN, very close, I should say. It was not Ollie Bridgewater. I didn't get dropped, luckily. It did get a little closer than I wanted to. I did have to dig a little deeper than I wanted to. But I knew, I was really hoping these guys actually needed me on their team in order to beat Jake. I'd like to think I was of some use, but truthfully, I think Cadman and Ollie here are strong enough on their own. The two of them, they could have worked together and really put the hurt on Jake. I was kind of just along for the ride, to be honest. So, anyways, we're going through these little hills right here, these rollers, and we got a good 37 seconds on him still. So he's definitely closed down a little bit, and we still have just under 2 miles, and yet we still have to go over the Zwift KOM. So we're coming down this descent a little bit right here, coming down towards the beach, and then I go ahead and I want to take my turn. I want to actually do some work here on the front. So again, I'm not the best at this kind of stuff, but I want to show the team that I am working. So I do pull ahead. I want to try to give them a little rest, something like that, especially as it flattens out. I want to keep the pace high. So I mean, I'm doing a good, I was shooting for 250 plus watts if I could do a little bit more, but I definitely didn't want to go below 250. So I did a pretty good job of that, which is approximately, I don't know, 3.2, 3.4, something like that, watts per kilo for me. I do believe I'm the tallest one. I don't know the weight of these guys. Personally, I come in at about 165 pounds. Been a while since I've done any sort of FTP test, and I can't say I do Zwift workouts anymore. All I do is race. Honestly, all I do is race for YouTube content. I should probably stop and do some sort of workouts, some zone 2 work, whatever. Nonetheless, back to the race. Cadman takes his pole, and he does a fantastic job. We're in a great formation here as we're heading towards the bridge, and as we come under the bridge, we got 29 seconds on the snowman, who is barreling down the road, it seems, because he's really closing that gap. 0.7 miles, and really all we have is to cross this bridge and do this Zwift KOM one final time, and we're pretty tired, speaking for myself anyways. So we start the KOM right here, and Cadman says all you, kind of signifying that he's out, no longer really in contention or able to help us anymore, and I am not far behind him, as it seems. I really wish, looking back, I just absolutely turned myself inside out, but my heart rate basically was at 185 at the base of the hill, and surprisingly it kind of goes lower and then it goes back up, and Ollie just takes off with it. I wish I again, looking back, just clicked my gears a couple times and just stood on the pedals and worked for it. The snowman is behind us by 11 seconds. Ollie's ahead of me by 2 or 3 seconds now. As the ground kind of levels out, he goes around the turn, and we're ahead of Cadman by about 4 seconds. So the three of us are quite spread out amongst ourselves, and Jake is just closing it down. And it's getting pretty dicey at this point. Ollie's just become the hero of the day. I use my feather, doesn't really do much. At this point, I message Ollie. I said, Ollie? Well, all I said was Ollie, meaning, dude, it's all you. Let's get it done. And Jake comes not only past me, look at how fast he goes past me. This dude's got an unreal 60-second power, and he just unleashes it. And I'm looking at the mini map, like I can't actually see Ollie on my screen, so I type in, I go, dude, full gas, And like, does he make it? I don't know. Look at my view. I can't see anything over this hill. So I'm at a loss here, but I do what I can. I get over the hill and come across the line. Let's see the standings. Did he make it? Is 3 actually better than 1? Ollie Moore, hero of the day. Look at that. Incredible. Great work to Ollie and Jake and Cadman. Guys, thank you so much for letting me be part of the ride. That was a total blast. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.